No man is gonna say, yeah, come get with me with my short penis, little feet, and no money. You see what I'm saying?
That's what that's why I tell everybody, man, height and looks goes out the window when a man is standing on his wallet. It's just the way it is when it comes to women.
I'm not completely co-signing that because
why?
So let's just assume that all things are true. You know what I'm saying? What's the solution? Not just education, but implementation and how to sustain it.
The solution? Oh yeah, that's for you, Antoine.
Oh, is that for me?
Yeah.
I'll wait until you said something.
Oh no.
You haven't said anything and you're the educator here.
Yeah, I don't have the solution. I think, looking back at, both of you guys' point, I think, to kind of spin it back to, an original point, as far as the men and far as what they're concerned, I think we all agree that the first priority, even be whether it's, I think the first question was about, when should they? And it's not necessarily an age, it's more so a place in life. Like, where are you at in life? Are you at that point? And that point is based on their purpose. So once you get your purpose will dictate when that particular time is to get said woman. Is that what you guys kind of agree on?
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I would focus more on where you want to be in life. What do you want out of your own life? It's all about you. I would be selfish to say, yeah, it is all about you. You have to be selfish in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
It's all about you. Nothing else matters. And if you are to get married, if you're on your purpose, then that person's supposed to come along and encourage you and help you build with it, marriage-wise.
Yeah, part of it.
It's part of it because you're on your purpose, achieving your goals, right? Because you can't take love to the bank, and you definitely can't. You can't pay a mortgage with it, right?
So, you can't pay nothing with it.
You can't pay nothing with love. I'm sorry. I don't need the encouragement. I get it enough from my brother, my mother, my father, right? Sure, it's good to have that little outside encouragement, but I get that from my mentors. But if I'm gonna get married, there's got to be a purpose for it, a reason, right? But it's got to be a reason outside of you already achieving your goals. That woman is not gonna come in and take you to the next level and all that movie stuff.
Yeah,
she can't help me do what I do, and she can't help you do what you do. What is she? What she can't? She's not gonna help me get up any earlier in the morning. Right? Just like I can't help her get a six-pack. I got to tell her what she can do, but she's got to do the work, and I can be there to say, great. But when kids today need to focus more, I would believe in your purpose. Find what it is you are good at. Find what it is you want to do, your passion, whatever that may be. A minister, I don't care. I consider everything a passion if you want to do it and pursue it to the highest level, right? And I would say, I would encourage them down that path. But I would use education to help them conduct themselves properly as human beings. I would make sure they don't approach life by that victimhood mentality. I would show them, yes, everybody's in a bad situation when they start off. Not everybody's in a silver spoon situation when they start off. Yes, you're a black man living in a white world. Minus all the coon talk, whatever. That's somebody that's not educated when they start going down that path, right? That's not you. That is not you. That to me, that is not you. I would keep them on the path of finding who you are as a human being.
All right. So let's say we fast forward, right?
Right.
Young man, he's 30, he's 32 years old now. Right. He's on his purpose. He's making 120 a year now, right? He's living
120. Right? Listen, 120 is a certain percent. Let's be realistic.
Yeah. All right. Let's say you're making 60. He's making 60,000.
We're on the same page.
Yep.
60, and you're aspiring to do better.
Young man, 32.
You could still make a good living at 60, but you're aspiring to do better. Let's say that, right? Is that fair to say? Okay, go ahead.
I'd even say he's making 50,000. Let's roll with 50,000.
That's the average.
He's making $50,000 a year.
Right.
He's 32 years old. He's on his purpose. He has a little small house or a little small apartment or something like that. He's been working harder, so his trajectory maybe max out at $75,000-$80,000 a year. All right. Is this guy, kind of sort of ready? Let's say he is ready to be married now. Right. What are some things that he should be looking for in a woman now that it's time to get married, it's starting it starts the time looking.
Okay. For me, I would tell them, what do you want her for? What's the purpose of marriage for you? What's the meaning of marriage to you?
Mhm.
That's the first thing. What is the meaning of it for you? What is having that woman? What is the meaning that you want to bring her into your life? You love her? Great. So you want to build with her? Great. Like, what is the purpose now of choosing the right woman? Because you're on your path, right? Now, unless you're
Mhm.
settled in, this is it. I'm ready for marriage and kids. That's a
So
whole different.
purpose. So let's see if we can, because I know individually it's going to be different from everybody,
Right.
but in a general in general terms, let's say 50%, 51%. What are what are some of the basic things guys should be looking for in women? Like some of the qualities of women, some of the what are some marriage qualities that women may have?
What is she bringing into your life? As far as financially, as far as companionship, is she on your program? Is she compatible with you? Does she have a drive that's going to understand your drive? Does she want to build with you? Right? I wouldn't even talk about domestic skills as far as cooking and cleaning and all that, right? I wouldn't talk about that stuff. Because with today, if we're talking modern times, very few people cook today. A lot of avenues on how to get food, healthy food without cooking and all that. So I wouldn't bring a woman in a sense that that's why I would choose a mate. I
Mhm.
would look for the qualities in her that can complement me, that can complement you, that you can build with. That's what I would say. That's how I would look at it.
Vic, what do you think some of those building qualities may be?
Um, I think overall, just I look for number one. I look for the same things that everybody else says. You know what I'm saying? But like, I look for it in a different way. Because I think those things are just the typical black and white application text. You know what I'm saying? I think it's kind of basic. I really feel like if you look at it from a place of you have to be healed. I think you got to be a healed person to even really be looking for a mate.
I've heard that before. Not to cut. What does that mean? Everybody says healed. What does that mean? Because I don't know that term.
Mm.
I hear it a lot on social media, but I want somebody give me a definition of that. What's one, and explain it this way if you can for me, Vic. What's one that's not healed and one that's healed?
Um, I'll come back to that. So what I mean by healed person is it comes out in kind of context and explanation. You know what I'm saying? When you get with somebody that brings solutions instead of issues, then you're typically dealing with a healed person because you can't fix people unless you can't help anybody unless you've helped yourself because you can't see the value of the help that you're giving.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay,
You see what I'm
and
saying?
that would
So
be considered healed, right?
yeah, I
Okay,
think
okay, okay.
yeah, exactly. I think it's every definition that I have. I look at it from a very simple point of view because if human beings are considered to be in the conversation of energy, everything you give, you know what I'm saying, like karma or whatever. Like say if you want to live on that right there, if you treat human beings like an investment or treat yourself like an investment, everything you give your energy to is an investment.
Hmm.
So do you want a negative or a positive return on energy? You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? On the energy that you commit to anything you do, because it's time, effort, finances, whatever little metrics you want to use, right? So whatever those things are that are important to you when you get ready to take interest into a woman at that particular moment in time, how can you get those things that you're willing to bring to the table back? You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
like in order for you to think like that, you had to have given, you had to have already healed in a way where it invites somebody into your space where you have enough energy to to actually be able to protect the person that you're with and take care of them as an automatic, you know what I'm saying, part of your day, you
Hmm.
know. So like we got to take, so my conversation speaks on all the things you're talking about. It always will, you know. But like I look at it from the 30,000 foot view, you know, because the dialogue that we're talking about ain't nothing that we ain't never heard. That's why we so quick to respond with the same context, and we all understand it. That is code. You see what I'm saying? Like now, the minute that I explained what healing was and you understood, that's code. You know what I'm saying? So like we are developing expectations for how the other person's going to respond and why. You know what I'm
When you
saying?
say code meaning as far as men? Like,
Yeah, an understanding between men.
okay.
Because generally speaking, men understand each other way differently than women understand each other. Way differently than men even understand women, and way differently than women understand men. You see what I'm saying?
I agree with that. I would agree.
Okay. So again, I came here with just baseline. I want understanding and cooperation. And men always want cooperation. That's why we in a hurry to get to it, because we want things to work. Okay.
Right.
We are quick to declutter who is here for themselves and who's listening to respond. Like all of us have been in defensive situations to some degree. Like men, what we have is that's worth protecting is code and conflict resolution. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, number one, a man can never base his success on his future based off a woman, because women don't have code. You understand what I'm saying?
And
women,
when you say code, you mean code between how women conduct themselves, right?
Yes, amongst each other. They've never put their differences to the side to build shit. Men can put their differences and expectations to the side and decide to construct something that we can learn from and say, you know what? Ultimately, I came here for self-improvement. Why would I come here? Do I want to come here to be difficult? Do I want to come here to be coachable? Do I want to come here to be part of the problem? Do I want to come to be part of the solution?
And I agree. And I want to say something on top of that, because you nailed on something really good. Men come together to work together, because I would put that in, if I was put that in construction terms, I always say if you're good at holding nails, we have no problem just holding the nail. And if this man comes in and he's good at the hammer, he has no problem holding that hammer. And if this guy's good at swinging the hammer, he has no problem swinging the hammer. So he can actually put the nail into the wood.
Welcome to understanding.
I agree with that.
That's all I'm trying to tell you.
I agree with that. Because women all want to hold that nail and they all want to swing the hammer. I agree with that.
Show me an all-woman construction crew.
Exactly.
Show me an all-woman infrastructure team. I'm not saying it don't exist. I'm just saying don't show me the exception. Show me the standard.
Right. I agree with that.
That's why, like that's why, like, I'm gonna nail you down if you bring up an exception of your personal experience, right? To make it a standard. You know why? Because women do that. You have to take that out of your vocabulary. Because like when you box people in by what they don't know and it's just saying education, you automatically drawing a division of people that want to be better, being intimidated by those that are already educated. You see what I'm saying? They don't know who you are. They don't know your resume. You see what I'm saying? But you have to find a more palatable way to deliver the same thing that we all want. This whole thing was just an exercise in exactly what I said when I started.
But let me jump to give me 1 second, because I want to. Well, you just said something that I could jump to Garfield on.
Jump around.
I love that name.
Yeah, let's do it.
Garfield, my cat. Garfield, do you think? And you come from an educational side. You're perfect to ask in this conversation. Mm-hmm. Do you think our youth speak the way they speak and conduct themselves the way they conduct themselves? Do you think it's because they don't get to school? Or do you think the school is failing them on how to do it? Because I refuse to believe, and you know, educate me on this, that how I hear these children speak today, horribly, can't form a sentence worth their life. Do you think they learned that the teachers let them get away with that in school, as in they're not writing their grammar, they're not creating a project? Where is that gap that when they leave, they speak like that?
I think it's I think a lot of it has to do with the culture in which they're raised in. I think that for the most part, students are at school for 6 to 8 hours a day.
Right.
They're at home for the remainder of the day. They're on social media for the remainder of the day. All the people that they idolize, all the people that they see on TV and follow on social media, that's how they speak. So for
Okay.
them, it's pretty normal. You know what I mean? And when we growing up and, we use slang terms and stuff like this, but I think the difference between now, so here's what I will say. And I don't know how much of this has to do with what goes on in the home. We're all between 40 and 45, right? So we all grew up around the same time frame. When I feel like when we grew up, we were told, there were certain things that happened in the house, certain things stay in the house, blah, blah, blah. Just the same way when it comes to speaking. We were taught that this is how you talk in the street when you run your homeboys and friends and stuff. But when you go on a job interview, this is how you speak. This is how you talk this is how you talk. I think what's missing now is that part. Whereas now everyone is being so free that they're okay with being slang and talking however they want to, regardless of the situation, regardless of who they're talking to, or regardless of what platform, or regardless of wherever they're at. So
So they
like,
don't write
like,
their essays like that though, right?
no, they don't. But I do think that there's a big a lack of the what do you want to call it? Like, I think a lot of kids don't know how to spell because we have spell check and different things like that.
Even
Kids
today
are
with
not
all the
forced to learn,
even
but
today
that's
in
just
school.
part of it.
So you think spell check even today in school?
Well,
I
I
mean,
know. So like, I work in the elementary school, and I see kids write the same way that they text. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I think that, if they spend a lot of time, while they're spending a lot of time on their phones and texting shorthand, and instead of spelling, wow, you just use the you, or instead of, saying okay, you just type out the K. So a lot of things like this, what I've seen is crossed over, and certain things are like that is going on in the school. And I think overall this, um I think to kind of come back to your question, I think it's just kids are, they're just not, I don't know, code switching, I guess, or I don't
So they
even
don't
know if
have, but
they.
they don't hand in their essay written like that. Is how they speak. They don't hand
I
it
don't
in.
think so. I don't think so. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead, Vic.
Since you guys have brought nothing but I don't knows, I'm gonna go ahead and
Yeah,
tell
let's
you
do it.
what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and just take the extreme leap. We are in the edge, we're on the cutting edge of evolution. We're watching the old ways of retaining information and learning no longer being useful to the people that's using it. Not saying that it's not important, it's just not useful to the people that we feel like need to know it. Okay.
Right.
All right,
Understood
so
that.
pause real quick. Let me soak that in. So
Let me just
pretty
put
much
on a
what you're
light.
saying is there's to make sure I'm going. The reason why writing cursive is important, but it's not really useful right now.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, like I drag my signature on digital documents all day. You see what I'm saying? Like, how many times y'all use DocuSign?
All the
Last time
time.
you had to write your signature on a check. You know what I'm saying?
So,
One last time, yeah, one last time, yeah.
I would
Like
agree with that. I would
when
so,
you
so
agree.
buy
what
a
you were
birth,
saying, so what you're saying is having the ability to speak or articulate certain words is not as important because it may not be as useful because you can auto correct it, and you can um you can sound it out now. You can just spell it or say it.
this video is proof of that. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, you imagine we had to sit down and write this back and forth and rebuttal
Whew.
with each other. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're
Type
gonna
back and
lose a
forth.
lot of
Yeah.
context. Like, when I write so direct, people think that I'm attacking them. You know what I'm saying? Even when I speak, people think I'm attacking them. You know, that's been my number one resistance in life from since I've been a child. Everybody's always taking offense to the way that I communicate and you know what I'm saying, in my physical being. You know what I'm saying? I'm an imposing person, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but Garfield knows me well enough to know that I admit mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't look like it, but typically I just don't open my mouth unless I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? but people don't get comfortable with hearing somebody else that has a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because it destroys their world.
Mhm.
Number one. Okay. So that's what my point is when we have to talk, when we start talking about education, understand you're talking about people from different socio demographics.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Different educational backgrounds, different familial, you know what I'm saying, situations, current trauma, all these other things. This is a mental health conversation. This isn't just, I think you should do it this way because it worked for me. That's insensitive. You know what I'm saying? And then the greatest way to create aversion is to be insensitive to somebody else's start point. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the reasons that we have educational issues too is because we don't have the right finances that go with it. So like what you may not have understood about structure in America when it comes down to education, right? Undereducated children go to underfunded schools that are in communities that are funded by property taxes on the underfunded real estate. You see what I'm saying? So if you undervalue real estate, so if you undervalue the schools, you pay less property taxes, your school gets less funded, teachers get paid less, children learn less. This isn't just as simple as telling the kid to go to school and just read this again and read it out loud. You see what I'm saying? And then the other thing is too, if you got undercompensated teachers, that means you have less teachers that are senior enough to know how to reach children because they have a higher turnover, right? So how old are the teachers that's teaching these children? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of, in real talk, it's a lot of folks that's our age that can't spell shit.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of folks that our age
Social
that
media
ain't
all
good.
day.
There's a lot of folks
Oh
that's
yeah.
our age ain't good at shit, ain't never
I
constructed
agree
anything,
with
ain't
that.
never completed anything. So we
I
got to
agree.
chill out talking about education. That's why I say we need to focus on what are you good at? Because education don't necessarily come without a bunch of bills either. Because if you push people off to education because they feel like they have to go get in school now because they heard education, 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 right? And they get in there just to fake the funk and hope they can feel their way through it. Now you got $130,000 in bills and nothing to show for it. You know what I'm saying? When they get out and then while they were in school, they mind you, they might have gotten out because they discovered what they were good at while they were there. And then everybody that told them to go to school said, you're fucking up because you're not doing what you went to school for. But meanwhile, they made six figures doing hair or washing cars or starting a business or recruiting people or something like that. So education should be used to enhance something that you're good at. Because sometimes you can take the education path now, unless you got like a specific career field that requires you to go be a doctor, like if you're an engineer,
Right.
architect, something like that, those
Yes.
specific mathematical things,
Mathematic.
those folks need to go to college.
They need to get, yes, because you're
But-
not going to learn that
But
stuff.
if you're not a college
Yes.
student
Right.
and you don't have the discipline that it takes to be a college student and the vision that goes along with you going to college to turn your college experience into something that pays for the West, pays your debt back and takes care of you going forward, right?
Right.
That's only going to come from something that you're good at.
Okay.
Because nobody's
And
going to pay you enough.
That's perfect because
Nobody's going to pay you enough to save enough to create the options and the quality of life that you want. That's why your purpose is more important. That's why like finding something you're good at, figuring it out just from raw nothing, and then going to go get supplemental education to enhance the thing that you're good at is probably more beneficial to a certain demographic of men out there that might be listening to this. If you're going to go be a doctor, cardiologist, or something specific, you definitely need to take your ass to college. You know what I'm saying? But if you're wavering and you don't know if college is for you, you know the military is not for you, or other paths, and you ain't no street dude. You know what I'm saying? You need to say to yourself, what am I individually good at that I can control, influence, market, and handle from the ground up without no support? Then once you figure that part out, college might be an enhancement tool. It should be an enhancement tool at that point if it's available. But then here's the other thing. Let's say you choose not to go. Hire people that went to college for the thing that you need them to do.
That's
Problem
okay.
solved.
Okay. And that's why I would say that, see, that plays into perfectly what I was saying before. That's why I said, if you are on your purpose and you're doing what you want to do in life and you're going that way, the only reason you would get married, I see again, is for children, right? Or not companion, for children. Now, that's why when I say, if you're on your purpose, you're doing good, you made that 60 grand, you're established, Now you know what kind of life you can provide for the child you're bringing into this world that can have a good, fair chance of moving forward and achieving. Because one thing I like that my father did, I don't even know if he know how smart he was to do it, is that he said after high school, he goes, okay, if you guys are going to go to college, what are you going to go for if I have to pay for it? Because if you're going to go because you have a talent and that doesn't need a doctorate degree or this degree, then you have to find a path that's going to make you that kind of wealth. But if you need it for a specific thing, like you say, Dad, I want to be a lawyer, then you got to go to college.
And that's why I told you before, I do that. Like this is the thing. All of us are about the same age, right? So this is one of those times where you can't just put it in order by age and education. This is about personal experience and how you articulate the message. You see what I'm saying? So in some cases, it might be more beneficial that I answer the question first. You see what I'm saying? Because somebody else might be more geared to debate. I'm here for dialogue. I don't debate people. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you got a question or a statement that might sound debatable, you don't feel completely stated, I'm not here to debate you. I'm not going to debate it. You know what I'm saying? Because in my brain, all things are true, because I'm going to argue from every point. You know what I'm saying? If I'm looking for a debate, but I'm not here to argue. I'm here to say, hey, look, this is a perspective on why the thing that you're saying may meet some adversity. We ain't saying that what you're saying won't work and it ain't true. You 44 years old, you got a personal experience where you grew up in Toronto, Canada. You know what I'm saying? To me,
hey, Montreal, man, come on.
Hey,
Montreal.
hey, again,
right, man, God damn it.
Hey, well, exactly. You see how
Toronto when they think
you see how I just grouped,
man.
You see how I just grouped all black people from Canada into Toronto. You see what I'm saying?
Damn. Why do people say that in America? They always go to Toronto. Like,
exactly. But see, that's the cultural barrier. When I say a different type of black, it wasn't me saying that you ain't black. It's me saying you a different type of black. That's
but
it.
I'm curious though. Why do you do that?
Yeah, you have to agree. It doesn't matter if you want to or not. It's still a fact. You see what I'm saying?
But it's like does Montreal exist? Don't you guys hear that at all in the United States? You always
we don't
Toronto.
care. That's the point. We don't care. We don't care until it's time. What's in Montreal? I ain't saying it ain't cool. I just don't have an interest in going right now. When I do, I look at the lay of the land and then I go check it out.
You go to Toronto first, though.
Probably, you know what I'm saying? Because I can repeat it. Hey, look.
That's just like people everywhere else. All they know about is New York and LA.
Yeah,
I live New York and LA. That's it.
I can look at your background and I have no desire to come to Montreal. It don't look fun. You see what I'm saying? It ain't nothing I want to go see. Your throat on the couch, man.
He ain't in Montreal now. He in California now.
Oh, okay, whatever.
I mean, I ain't want to.
Now I'm in California. Yeah, now I'm in California.
I have no interest in going to California and spending an enormous amount of time. It'd be like I go there to take some pictures, so that'll be it. You know what I'm saying? But like I don't want to live there. I've ridden a motorcycle through there, and I'm cool. I'm good.
Where are you located?
And I'm here in Texas.
Oh, okay. I don't want to go up there. Is everything as big as they say it is?
It's bigger. It's bigger than whatever you think it is.
Bigger.
It's bigger than whatever you think.
Is the portion size really that big in food wise? Because they say
you could drive 18 hours in Texas and still be in it.
Really?
There.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, it's big. Yeah.
And when you go to restaurants, are the portions really that much bigger than
everything's way bigger than what you ordered?
Wow.
And generally, in most cases, that's across America though. It's not just Texas. Yeah. Texas just markets it the best.
Oh, okay. I just find that everybody says every time you go to Texas, the plates are like huge.
Everything's huge. Yeah, I mean, like when it's got the biggest state sign, it's got everything. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like everything is way bigger than what you thought it was gonna be. Like seriously.
Wow.
So
really?
Yeah, the speed limits are the fastest in America. You know what I'm saying? Like you can do 85 miles an hour and 90 miles an hour, and the state trooper don't even pull you over. You're not getting no ticket. Yep. Like
I lived in Texas for 6 years. I lived there for 6 years. That's where we met. We actually met in Iraq though. So me and him met in Iraq.
Look at that.
We were stationed in the same unit. So, but we both were stationed in Texas together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what else did Garfield tell you about me?
Nothing really. But now go ahead, tell him anything.
No, you showed me your book. I commented on your logo.
Yeah, like so Garfield's very good at concealing his people. You know what I'm saying? So like a little bit about myself, man. Like I was in the Army for 12 years and 7 months. I'm a short-term rental host professional, real estate investor. Let's see, what else have I done? I was
So you guys met in the as you were deployed?
Yeah, we was in deployed. We worked in the Army together. We was in different spots.
So not like you left together. You guys met over there, wherever there was.
Yeah,
right?
the first time I met him, we were in Baghdad.
Wow, look
Right,
at that.
yeah, and so I'm also an intelligence professional. I was in the Army for, like I said, 12 years and 7 months in that profession. I got out and I worked in Afghanistan as an intelligence contractor for 4 years, from 2013 to 17. I lived in Kabul, downtown, for like 4 years. Let's see, the same Kabul that just disintegrated over the past few months.
Right.
What else have I done?
Wow. So you guys, that's very interesting.
I'm a vice president in a real estate investment firm out here in Fort Hood, Texas. And see here, my sponsor per diem based lodging for soldiers and government civilians that travel. I'm about to get into a lot of coaching and brand building and merchandise and stuff like that. And yeah, man, like I'm 42 years old, no kids, been married 3 times, you know what I'm saying? And so
3 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long each one? You're only 44. You're only 42.
About 3 or 4 years in each one of them. Like I evaluate contracts every 3 years, man. It ain't no different than sports, bro. Like, so that's why I say cooperation, because like
Let's talk about it.
This is my,
right.
This is my fucking spaceship. You see what I'm saying? So like I didn't meet somebody and divert my plans. You know what I'm saying? Like I meet people and grow my plans. So like, and people that choose to connect with me, they're gonna grow too. So because I don't come bearing any type of ill will, you know what I'm saying? My targets don't have anything to do with other people. So when I say something, it's because I see it in a true end state and the end goal that I've already conceptualized. So that's why I don't get offended by things that happen in the near term, and I'm able to explain why I'm not offended. You know what I'm saying? And it comes off, some people gonna think, he's being a super intelligent narcissist and shit like that. But like, no, I am a solutions oriented person. In fact,
let me ask you this though. Do you think,
what's up?
Since we're talking about when should someone get married, do you think you did it too early, too late? Was the wrong choice?
I just did it. I got married at the time that my life made sense to get married based on the things that I was doing. See, Here's the thing. Like, I'm an entrepreneur, so I shift gears. You see what I'm saying? Like, I went from doing real estate. I went from being in the Army, doing real estate while I was in the Army. I always have something that I can link to that gets me out of something else. You see what I'm saying? I am a full-on strategist. I have a plan that gets me to where I'm going. Like, when I didn't just decide, like in my 20s, I wanted to be rich and successful. When I was a child, I used to get the service merchandise catalog and look at the jewelry in the back. When I didn't have no affinity for jewelry because of rappers or other rich people. You see what I'm saying? I'm looking at these keynote figures in my life where I recognize that I was meant for something bigger than what it was. And I wanted to be open and receptive to whatever changed my current, so I can embrace it and really get into who I really am. You see what I'm saying? So like, when I started growing up, I had an affinity for nice shit, but I didn't know how to get to those nice things. I just knew I was good at most things that I put my hands on. And then when I finally committed myself to just, you know what I'm saying, like taking on harder tasks that nobody else wanted to do. Like, I joined the Army. Nobody supported, said, go join the Army. You see what I'm saying? And you'll find your way. I had more people saying, I want to join a white man's army. You know what I'm saying? But like me, I'm still a revolutionary and an activist, and the way I see things too. You see what I'm saying? But how are you going to dismantle something that you don't know how it's constructed? So I joined. I was willing to take that angle of understanding, because I don't like just being loud for no reason without knowing how to affect it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I had a different goal. I wasn't like most children. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't coddled. I was always by myself. I was detached. You know what I'm saying? Even though I grew up with a mom and a dad, and I got a brother, I had a different plan, you know, because.
Why were you detached, if you don't mind me asking? Why would you
say,
did they say you're detached, or you knew you were detached?
Oh, I know I'm detached. You can't make the decisions that I made in life without having a certain level of ability to detach. You don't go join the Army at 21 years old or 20 years old because you want to go make friends. You got a fucking mission. You see what I'm saying? For yourself. because you don't know an army before you join one. You see what I'm saying? You don't know an organization before you join one, but you know you can benefit from it. That's why you had enough common sense to say, you know what? Let me be open to new experiences. You know what I'm saying? Let me be open to accomplishing something so somebody can actually say, damn, he did that shit. Because the true man that you're supposed to become is only going to be realized until you accomplish something. You see what I'm saying? That's the distinguishing thing between men of a certain class, age, and experience. You see what I'm saying? That's why, like, you could look at a loud, you know what I'm saying, misguided person that still needs education and all those things that we've been discussing, and you could be like, hey, I know you're having a moment. I mean you no harm. Here's my number. Contact me, and maybe we could talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, at least create an opportunity, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't know where you could have used a you. You see what I'm saying? I could have used another version of me to come back and say, hey, dummy, pay attention to this. Don't do that. You didn't know what you didn't know. You see what I'm saying? And you had a hands-on dad, right? That's what I can kind of tell. Yeah. But everybody don't get raised with a hands-on father.
That's one of the main issues.
That's what, and that's what I'm saying.
Issues of the youth in the United States. My goodness, man. It's like birth control is kryptonite to these women. Like, right. What the F, man?
And that's what I'm saying. So, like, and this is gonna make my larger point. Why I'm saying, like, we got to figure out how to practice patience, empathy, and gratitude. Okay, patience, because you didn't have the patience when you had it. When you had the opportunity to make a good or a bad decision, and you chose something that maybe didn't produce a positive outcome. Not necessarily a bad decision. You just made a decision based off timing, which made it bad. The intent wasn't bad, but the timing might have been bad. You know what I'm saying? Empathy. Man, you just now learned what you know now to be able to talk about it as confidently as you can. You see what I'm saying? So empathize with people who didn't know what they didn't know. There's still a bunch of stuff that your pops told you that you probably still tried on your own and said, damn, my pops was right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then gratitude for recognizing those moments where somebody gave you a positive reference point so you can even correct yourself. You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people out here that have never had enough positive male guidance, or just guidance in general, but specifically positive male guidance, because that's what we're talking about, men, right? Mm-hmm. That have put a flag in the ground to say, damn, I don't went too far left or right, but I don't know which way is, but you know what I'm saying, the other way now, you know, because you're not lost until you can't tell somebody how to find you. And it's a lot of men that are.
Would you say at this point it's a choice now people are making?
Yeah, because like if you can grab the internet in the palm of your hands and find out what time your flight is leaving, when your Amazon package is coming, and order food, you're making a choice to connect to things, you know what I'm saying, that you want the information from. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it doesn't do any good to talk about these children that don't understand how to talk to our liking. You see what I'm saying? Instead, focus your energy on the ones that do communicate the way that we do and make them more successful. And then they'll be more reachable by those who you need to reach. You see what I'm saying? That's why reaching back to the youth, it shouldn't be a browbeating session. So we have to be careful about how we communicate. You see what I'm saying? So like we have to correct each other so the message that we collectively agree is important is able to be received and digested. See, do you think you're going to get more participation from people raising their hands or the people that you just go right up and just start talking to?
Obviously the ones raising their hands because they're willing.
Bingo. So we got to figure out how to have the conversation where gentlemen raise their hands. We have to speak to men to where they should become, to where we want to see them, not where they are. Right. That's why we come back from the future to have this conversation to those in the present.
Mm-hmm. And I would say that's why I would also say I wouldn't say there's an age that to get married at. Bringing it back to that, I would say first focus on you. Be selfish for yourself. Learn, grow, become who the man you're supposed to become. Because your positive influence will make you pick the right woman that will operate on your stratosphere, right? Because if I'm the way I am now in life, if a woman's coming into my life, she's only coming in for that enhancement of being there, right? It's not, she's not coming into the enhancement of financially cooking. No, those days were great back then. Back then, men took pride in providing for their family, right? That was the main purpose of going out to work, to provide for their family and make sure they have a good life and a better life than what you got. That was back then. Times have changed now, right? Women are educated. Women are doing their own thing, right? I'm the type of guy that believes that, you know what? You're not going to change the fire department test just to make sure women can pass. No, you want to be a fire department, you want to be a fireman, you better be able to lift 200 pounds down the stairs. Just because you're a woman, I'm not going to make it 150, because you know what? If the man is 200 pounds in a fire, your ass better be able to pick him up. Right.
Which is why I said that's why men discuss things based on metrics.
Right.
See, if you keep it with the numbers, we can deal with facts. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and when I say like, let's say we come to a point, it's a hypothetical conversation. Like right now, you're giving a hypothetical scenario.
Right.
All things are true. You know what I'm saying? Because in feeling, you can make anything true. In fact, you can make a certain angle of the discussion you're trying to have true.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Both.
Absolutely agree.
So there's a difference between facts and pet peeves. So we got to be careful not to put our pet peeves in the mix with the facts, because you're already going to be dealing with a lot of emotionally misguided men who are basing their current paths on feelings, and they don't even know it's based on feelings until they hear conversations like this, and they have to think about it, where it makes them ask certain questions based on their available resource. Like, damn, am I overshoot? You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's $500 don't spend the same way.
Right. Yeah.
So like a man could go to the Philippines and he may only make $30,000 a year, but he might live like a god out in the Philippines.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
He living his
tell
life.
a man that's 28 years old in the Philippines that only make $30,000 a year that he gonna fail. It don't make sense. That's why I say you got to start off with metrics that make sense, and those metrics are only going to be relative to what people live. Because if somebody makes $80,000 a year, you're like, oh yeah, that's more than enough to even consider marriage. But they
Not
live
in
in
California.
DC. But they live in DC.
Why
But
do
they
Los
live in
Angeles.
Yeah,
Or
but
LA.
they live here. But they live in Seattle. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like y'all, if you living in that side of town with that salary, you a sneeze away from being homeless. You see what I'm saying? So you
Right.
shouldn't even be bringing people in there. And don't even bring in like your health scenarios, your job scenarios, your children, if you have children. You know what I'm saying? Or even your organic family, because they may cause enough issues for you. And that's one of my main things too. You can't get with nobody that's got a toxic connection to their own family, especially
Yeah.
something that you're unfamiliar with too. You see what I'm saying? Because like the woman could be perfect. The situation can be perfect, because again, all things are true between feelings and facts, right? But then we get into compatibility, right? Because what happens when somebody has more of an obligation to their parent or the sibling or something like that? That's a dynamic that you have to be willing to consider too. You know what I'm saying?
Give me an example of what you're saying right now. Of that.
Okay, say if you with a woman and she got a toxic relationship with her sister always needs something, always disruptive, always around, gotta babysit her kids, you ain't got no kids, and that ain't your thing, and that ain't what you came into the relationship to do, right?
Right.
You're gonna have a tough time realistically, because that ain't
Oh,
what you,
absolutely. Like I
you
said.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
like,
agree.
so sometimes like it's not enough to just talk about what it looks like for marriage and your personal resource, because all those things, again, all things can be true, because you're gonna be dealing with men that say, oh, I got it figured out, I got a plan. You know what I'm saying? That sounds cool, but my girl ain't like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But at some point, you're gonna have a moment where she's just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it's just like that on something small, that small tremor that it seems really becomes a vulnerability in your plan.
But Vic, you don't think, okay, then it goes to my next point. You don't think that that's part of the communication, that when you do get with that woman, that you see, you lay all the cards out on the table, you say, listen, what is your situation in life? Right? Because, well, that's when her chance is to say, I take care of my sister, or I babysit my, that's the chance to let it all out in the beginning, right? Because that's the first conversation I think any man should have with a woman. What's your situation in life? Right? Because if you're saying, well, if you're coming into my, it's about, you know, I don't want to say compromise, but I would say if the man's taking his lead and doing his part, a woman's coming into his life, he's not going into hers at
Metrics. Okay,
Right.
so metrics.
Right? And so she has to, so his question would be, what is your situation in life? Now I see you have this contingency with your girl, with your sister or your mother. How is that going to impact us?
Again, because it go back to purpose and everything else, right? So in this scenario that you present, how do you approach that, right? That's basically the question, right?
Yeah.
You
Like,
ask
I would say communication, but I mean, maybe you have a
okay,
different
so
approach.
communication is only as valuable as the two individuals that are healed having it.
Right. And that I agree with you on that.
So everything I start talking about when I say compatibility and things working, because I talk in the spirit of solutions. Okay.
Right.
That implies you have to be healed, educated, where your surroundings, you know what I'm saying? You have to have optimal situation awareness, you know what I'm saying? And even then, with all those details, you still have communication issues because you're merging two different languages of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if you come from a healed place and it's not deception, people that make moves that appear deceptive are really doing it out of insecurity. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference between being deceptive to be destructive or being deceptive because you're insecure.
Mm-hmm.
Because understand, healed people still deal with the responses from trauma. They don't necessarily mean they have something to connect the trauma to. You see what I'm saying? Like, I might ask you a question and you may respond in a nervous way and then it look like you're lying. You know what I'm saying? But in the past, you may have responded to the same words or something before, and people accuse you of lying about something or being untruthful. You're like, no, I don't know why I did that. That's what you said to yourself.
Right.
But you're being transparent at that point, right?
Right.
But you have to progress towards transparency. Everything in a relationship is a need to know basis. Nobody's going to give you every single thing. So it's utopian to ask why in communication they don't tell you every single thing that's wrong. People block stuff out that they don't think is important, that might be important to you. You see what I'm saying? Generally speaking, most women ain't never been concerned about finances the way men are concerned about finances. So if you bring something up about their finances, they may say their dollar amount is let's say $50,000. That might be a crazy number to the wrong man. You see what I'm saying? Oh, bitch, I can't even mess with you. You got $50,000 worth of debt. But is that the same scenario to a man that's got leverage, money, talent, merchandise?
Nope.
No, it's not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, my girl thought she had a whole bunch of debt. She had $3,000 in credit card debt. I said, chick, you an investment. You see what I'm saying? Like, I wish I just had $3,000 in debt. You see what I'm saying? So that takes discernment. And again, we're talking about what? Metrics that we can control, metrics that we can align our purpose with. Because purpose is abstract. Success is abstract. It's neutral. It's a very general way to put it. Because if I told you, I said, how did you want to get successful? Like, let's say all of us are successful in our own right. And I want to believe that that's the truth. Okay. So how did you get to where you are? I can tell you what I did. I had a vision that at some point I was going to be on my back porch, watching my dog chase squirrels in the backyard. I'm going to be eating egg whites. My lady going to be rolling my blunts, talking to me in the morning, pouring my coffee. She going to smoke with me. You know what I'm saying? And then, so you like, damn, Vic, that's a good life. So what happened before that? I'm like, well, I made my money in real estate and the money created time. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And then the time gave me opportunity to branch off in other things that fed my curiosity, that fed my whole model. You see what I'm saying? So then it's like, damn, well, how did you decide how to apply it? You know what I'm saying? Well, I got back here and I decided, you know what? I said, I know I'm going to be successful, but how successful do I want to be? Right. And then when you ask that question, you fill it in with the other things that you're already good at. It forces you to take inventory of the things that you're good at.
Now, do you think you learned all what you learned after your 3 marriages or before?
No, I came in it with that. My marriages didn't make me successful. You know what I'm saying? Like, they added to the legend.
But do you think that you broke up with them based on that it just didn't work? Or do you think it because they weren't on the same page as Vic?
It's always.
I'm not getting into your business. I'm just trying to.
No.
We're talking about picking the right person for you. That's why I'm asking.
We didn't work out. In some cases, when it was. Well, I'll speak. I can only speak from my level of accountability.
Right.
In my first marriage, it was founded on deceit. You know what I'm saying? My first marriage, I had a child that was born out of it that turned out not to be mine, that I didn't find out till she was 9 years old.
Okay, next one.
So
you ain't picking that again. You ain't getting fooled by that again.
And it's a progress. Like, in each step I progress, I get better.
Yes.
So my second wife, I married somebody that was younger than me, and I think I was 31 at the time, and she was 22 or 23 or something like that. We had a 9-year difference at the time.
Right.
We had dated since it was 2007. We got married in 2011. We got divorced. No, we separated in 2014, and we finalized divorced in 2015. But in that situation, when it didn't work, she woke up in 2014 after we had been married for 3 years and decided that she didn't like some things that happened between us in 2007 and decided that she didn't want to be in a relationship. I can't make that up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying
But
to.
that's women's mentality, though. So I've had my experience. So
Yeah, I don't want to make it about women's mentality. I just want to make this about my person. Hey,
I know.
Hey, look, I just want to make this about my personal experience.
I get you.
Okay?
I get you.
All right, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want you
That
to
is such a
gravitate-
common that is such a common thing amongst men.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's a trauma response. The way that you just responded to that, that's the trauma response that I'm talking about. You're taking my situation and making it about you. You see what I'm saying?
Taking your situation to tell you
Now,
that many times, and I get it.
Hey, and that's that, and which that behavior right there is why I divorced my third wife. You see what I'm saying? So I can't make up none of this stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't, because I've seen it prepackaged. You see what I'm saying? So like, that's why I'm like, I know that there's a communication barrier in relationships in general, but there's some wide extremes and there's some poor expectation management. And when it comes down to relationships in this era of relationships based on this socioeconomic structure, that's just the bottom line. And we got to learn how to talk to each other, and we don't know each other's dialect anymore because we come in with Old Testament equivalent, you know what I'm saying, ideologies and delivery versus setting conditions for dialogue for people to tell us how to communicate with them. See, you understand, if you listen, that people are telling you how to talk to them. You see what I'm saying? People are telling you how to respect what they're trying to say. Respect the space that I need to communicate what I'm trying to say, you know? And then once you get that, you got to have a conversation about empathy and understanding each other's individual obstacles. Because you got to look at it like this. In terms of men, there's a lot of men that move in a way that makes you know that they think somebody's coming to help them. And everything that I'm saying is applicable to women too, but we're talking about men because they are not going to have the conversation that we're having right now for the same reasons that we're going to have it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We're here because we are fixers, architects, builders. I ain't saying those women are either that would have an equivalent conversation, but they're not building the same thing that we're building.
Right. Agreed.
So that's why we need to box the conversation into that part right there, because the communication and the education part feeds the larger part of why we have the issue that we have. What you're identifying are the components of an infodemic. Do you understand what I'm saying? An infodemic is where like everybody got access to the same information, right?
Everybody.
But where they take their information from gives credibility or removes credibility from where they get it from.
Exactly.
Okay. So like, let's say if all the opinions that you have today, right, were rooted in everything from Fox News and Breitbart, nobody's going to ever listen to you again.
No, because I you know, it's funny you should say that, because I always say, I first of all my opinions come from my experiences, right?
As it should.
And I'll listen to Fox, I'll listen to CNN, I listen to the good, the bad, just to see how they split it down the middle. And then I'll make my own assessment and give my own version of what I think it is.
And even then, your assessment is still going to be, it might be utopian.
Exactly.
You might have a hot take, you know what I'm saying, without all the information. And then 3 hours later, you might get some more information.
Exactly.
And now you look like an idiot.
Not really, because you know.
No, not, I'm not saying not really. I'm not saying that in a way. I'm just, what I'm saying is that if you get trapped in the moment, the next people that come along are going to look at you like an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell were they on? You know what I'm saying? They didn't go back and check this out. But that's the risk that you run when you decide to be a published author. You might, especially depending on what you're writing about, especially nonfiction, when you basing it on shit that's actually happening in real time. You write about something, you're obligating yourself to say, hey, look, this is the bullshit that I was on at this point in my life. Right. But then you go back and read a book and you have a new period of enlightenment. Then you look back, you say, damn, I used to be stupid as hell. You see what I'm saying?
No, I
So
get, I
like,
get. Listen, I'm with
so
you.
like your relationships are gonna fit the way that you move throughout life. So as long as you're taking in new information with a will to decide to how successful you want to be, the person you with is going to be compatible relative to that level of success that you're at that moment in time. That's why if you want to date chicks that guzzle beer pitchers, you know what I'm saying? I ain't saying she can't do that down the line. She just better be very sexy at doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She better be plugged up to the right people with the right kind of status where she could do that. Because there's a big difference in standing on the bar, you know what I'm saying, at Buffalo Wild Wings in some location, than standing on the bar on a yacht in Santorini pouring champagne down your neck.
Okay,
Mhm.
so based on the conversation we're having, would you say then that there really is no right age to get married at, no blocked in age? Or would you say
I
it's fair,
think
it's fair to say where you're at in life and why you want to get married? Would you say that?
At 42, soon to be 43, I don't really care about marriage like that. You know what I'm
But
saying?
do you not care about it like that because of your past experience, or you're just saying now that you see things?
It's not administratively useful.
Okay. And Garfield, what's your take? I'm just curious.
Um,
It's
it
not a
has to be a
priority.
purpose. Yeah, it's not a priority.
It's not a priority,
Um,
but so we're fair to say there's no real
yeah,
right
there's
age.
no real, but for me, I think like when you talk about as far as purpose, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I'm doing it because there's a purpose. Like
Right.
my lady has, she has something that she's bringing to the table that she's going to be adding value to what I already have. You know what
Great.
I mean?
Okay.
The roles that we are in are not always, they're not necessarily the same. Like I have my roles, my responsibility. She has her roles and responsibility. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
because I already on my purpose, I already know what I want, I was able to find someone that um could come along and add to the add to the direction that I'm already heading in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
No, I get it. Because
and the
like I,
thing about it is, whether or not we are together or not, I'm still going to be there. You know what I
right.
mean? I'm still going to get to my end goal. And I think that's, like what we've been talking about, that is so important. Like that person, necessarily doesn't define you, but they should be able to add some value to what you already have. If they're not
And you're on
adding
your purpose.
value, what
Right.
is the purpose? And to figure out what that value is, that goes back to the men being on their purpose and knowing what type of a woman is going to align with their purpose. So it's like, if you have, if you're a 35-year-old man and you want a woman to like, you making you're making enough money to where your wife can stay at home and raise kids, and that's what you want. You know what I mean? Then those are the types of women that, men need to go out and look for. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I actually agree with what you're saying because, like I said, and we've talked about it before, like I would only get married. The only reason I want to get married is for children. I'd love to have kids,
Yeah.
but that's there would be no other reason in my mind. I mean, of course, her being there, of course,
Hmm.
she has to be there, but yeah, that's the only reason I would say to get married. See, that's what it boils down to. Unless you find a woman like in your situation on your purpose, wants you to
Hmm.
succeed and you want her to succeed.
Yeah.
Um, that's the perfect way to go about saying, okay, I can marry this woman. This is the one for me, right?
For me.
Yeah, for you. No,
Yeah.
right? So I
Yeah.
would say, yeah. And the only reason a woman would be with me is if she wants kids too. I wouldn't marry a girl that's, not sure if she wants kids. It'd be like foolish for me,
Yeah,
right?
marry, the date with intent, have a purpose of,
Yeah, that's
the reason why
exactly
you with
the intent.
someone. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think that's where we
that's what I would tell the youth today. I would tell them that.
I think that's really key, because I think that's where we mess up. A lot of times we just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get married. We don't have a purpose. We don't have a plan for the other purpose. We don't have a vision. We don't know where we're going to be at 65. We don't know where we're going to be at 55. All these things, and a lot of these young men are just, for whatever reason, they're picking women based off of other reasons. Even they like, I hear, these kids talk, oh man, I want me a woman that, Instagram model and these different things. I'm like, do you want what comes with that? I mean, are you sure you're gonna handle what comes along with dating, that type of woman? You know what I mean? I'm
Okay.
speaking just in general terms.
So let me ask both of these this question if I can, or if I may, if I'm allowed.
Mm.
Based on society today, the modern women with all the technology we have, the education system we have, I mean, people are a lot smarter than they were back then. Why do you think the birth rate is as high as it is if men want to pick them to marry them? If I'm a woman and I know I want to be picked I want to be that bride, I want to be that woman to that man, right? I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I protect the biggest thing in my life, having a kid. Why do you think women aren't thinking like that first before they decide to just spread it?
Go ahead,
I
Vic.
want to
Oh, you
know.
want me to
I want to
answer
know,
that?
like, what I want an honest educational answer. I want something smart, not just heat of the moment. That's not an answer.
Yeah.
Because I'm a woman and I'm saying, hey, I want that man, I want that life, I want that family. And I know you have access to it because they don't make it too hard to get birth control. I don't know about, so I just want to know, like, why they would fuck up their lives, excuse my language,
Nah.
for the sake of it. Like what
Good.
goes through their mind at the heat of the
Hey,
moment? This Pookie and Ray Ray, or whatever you call them in
This
front
a
of you.
men's platform. You can speak freely over here.
Okay, so I just want to know, like, what do they think at the heat of the moment that, hey, wait a minute, I got to protect myself. I don't want to get pregnant. I don't want this guy for the rest of my life. Okay, I get the whole I'm horny thing. I get that. You're feeling it. I get that. But what makes one think I'm going to mess up the rest of my life with this idiot? Because they only complain about him later. They don't complain about him at the moment.
Let me go ahead and answer your question.
Please.
I'm going to show you that I've already answered it for you.
Okay.
What did I tell you earlier about women?
No, I want you to tell me again because I can't remember it.
But they don't have no code.
They don't have no code.
So you think having a code would be think of themselves, be selfish about themselves first to say, I don't want a child, and do what's right for them before they don't have that, you think?
Do you think women are talking about the same things we're talking about right now?
No.
There's your answer.
So and
that's why we can't talk about them. That's why we shouldn't talk about them.
Okay, so you think that, and correct me if I'm wrong.
In a good way. I mean,
do you think that, so you think women are not using birth control or not putting their bodies first or themselves first before the idiot in front of them? And I'm going to call that person an idiot. So you think the reason they're not doing it is because they're not on code to take precautions necessary to not get pregnant?
I said earlier, some people gonna move as though somebody's coming to save them. Making a baby without having any type of support system behind it, that's the implied thing, is that you think somebody's coming to help you.
So what you're saying?
And what percentage would you say that is?
I don't care. I don't even worry about those people. You see what I'm saying? Because
what percentage of women would you say think like that?
I don't commit myself to percentages without having data and statistics in front of me.
Okay, so so then do you think that that's what code means? Exactly what you just said?
Code is about metrics, man. It's about making decisions based on the metrics that you have. You see what I'm saying? So what metrics are women looking at before they decide to go make those decisions?
That's exactly what I would
which is the point being that they don't have a code. Men start with metrics. That's why we established the conversation that we're having now.
So okay, so but it's a small, let's just say if I go off the stats, they say it's a small percentage of men, the same men getting women pregnant, right? That's what they say. That's the percentage. I don't know, but
it's true.
You think those men aren't on code, right?
I think those men are definitely not on code, but I think it's deeper than that. I think that you can't have winners without losers.
Mm-hmm.
You can't distinguish what success looks like without people achieving various levels of success. You see what I'm saying? That's how you can determine what failure and success is. You know what I mean? Now, that's a human element, because people are going to wind up trying to improve their quality of life, So when you have people competing against different standards of what they believe to be success, people are not going to see children the same way that other people are going to see children. You know what I'm saying? Especially children out of wedlock. People are not going to see expanding or getting married, expanding the empire, getting married, you know what I'm saying, and growing with a particular woman the same way that the next person is going to see it. Some people may come from a family that says, we have 6 and 7 kids over here. You know what I'm saying? So you might have 4 kids and it might not be enough, regardless of what the financial goal should be. You know what I'm saying? Because every family doesn't have a culture of growing the family, and like everybody's got a different ceiling for success. So you got to take that part into consideration, which goes back into compatibility, socioeconomics, and stuff like that. So like if you got a woman that's been raised around a bunch of other women that get cultured to lead a life that only makes them suitable to marry or be for another man, right? Instead of mentoring those girls to work on something that they're good at too. You see what I'm saying? Because that way they can have this cultural desire to protect the thing that they're good at. See, when you give them something that they're good at, they're gonna change the direction of what they associate themselves around, right? Let's say if you got we'll just talk about, you know what I'm saying, young girls becoming women, you know what I'm saying, in the sense of this right here, because it's something that we've all got experience with, right? Let's say if you got a young girl that's super educated, academic or whatever, right? What's the first thing people try to do? Hey man, don't let her get pregnant. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So you do something to take her away from that potential, or the potential of that bad thing derailing her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then so let's just say it doesn't. So let's just say the plan doesn't work and she winds up getting pregnant. It's a new variable, but we got to stop calling it a bad thing like that person's life is over with. You see what I'm saying? So there's a stigma that goes with it. I'm not encouraging anybody to go make children young or have children young. But like after that, the worst case scenario happens, you got to be careful of what, if you can simulate the worst case scenario happening, right? You have to be responsible with your words in the present. You know what I mean? So like we have to quit obligating children and not make the mistakes that we made, instead of just showing them how successful they can become with the opportunity they have in front of them. See, we bring up all the negative stuff that they weren't probably even thinking about. Instead of saying, hey, this is what could happen to you. That's cool too, right? Got that part. That's just contextual conversation. So you got to have a start point, right? But like, if you take this approach based on my experience, right, maybe you could have an outcome that's like this, instead of us imparting our fears on them because we see an opportunity to relive moments that we didn't make the most out of. You see what I'm saying? So ultimately, all my conversations are going to come back to this. How successful do you want to be at whatever it is that you want to do?
I always looked at a child as a child.
And then what's included in that picture of success that you have? Is a wife in your picture for success? Is a family in your picture for success? Is generational wealth and you teaching grandchildren in your picture for success?
I could answer that by no. I could
exactly. So that determines what type of woman that you go after.
Right. I could answer. I could say that I think the kids today should not put a woman, and I'm going to say it straight out, they should not put a woman in their level of success, because that is only a hindrance, just like a child would be. A child would only slow you down. I could not do all what I did. I don't think anybody can do all what they did if a child comes early, because there's a responsibility in that direction.
And I want you to caveat this though. You could say, in my personal experience, based on the different decision-making points in my life, children didn't fit. That hits way different than saying nobody should be thinking about children.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because not everybody wants your success. Not everybody wants to be rich. Not everybody wants.
That's what I mean. Exactly. That's what I would ask. What do you want in your life?
And that's why, like, the general question for me is, how successful do you want to be?
Exactly.
And then when you start painting that picture, your success is going to be different than anybody else that paints.
Exactly.
I might paint children in mine. You might not paint children in yours. Motorcycles is always in my picture for success.
Right.
So that means I'm going to live somewhere where advantageous for me to ride my motorcycle and get the most out of it.
I like
Yeah.
the
You know what
fact you're
I'm
like, well, I get it. Okay.
And date
okay.
and date somebody who's okay with
Cold
having a
weather
man.
is not in my
Yeah.
picture for success.
Yeah. Mine neither. Mine neither.
Yeah.
But
It's like that.
but that's those are the things that's important, and those are the things, as young men navigate life.
Do me a favor,
Those
put
are
the
going to be
projector
some
for me.
stopping points or
The
some
ones that's right there in
hurdles
that
that
bin.
they're going to have to overcome. There are going to be some conversation that's going to have to be
Yeah,
had. 'Cause
just put them in
Right.
the
like
oven right
Vic
there. It's
said,
already on.
if you want to ride a motorcycle,
Put it on
like
the bottom.
you need to date a woman who's okay with you being in the motorcycle scene, because you hear women, and you hear men talk about how, yeah, motorcycles, they dangerous. So if it goes back to dating with intent, you have to date someone who open and who's okay with you in the motorcycle life. Because if not, then those are going to cause problems. Those are going to cause issues down the road. And the thing about them, there's so many different scenarios. So I think as men go about life and they start planning their life and their purpose, they have to think about, all of those different scenarios. Hey, Vic, you remember, you probably think about this and now. You know how we give op order, right? They give output and you push it down, you disseminate it, and then before you go out on a mission, you think about, okay, what could happen if we go out on a mission? You know what I mean? And then you rehearse and stuff. So then when it's time to action and it actually happens, you somewhat prepared for it. So I think that's what the thing that men needs to do when it comes to picking women and all these different things in life, is you got to think about your type of lifestyle, like you said, and what type of lifestyle, um what type of woman is going to be suitable for your type of lifestyle. Like if you living in Miami, and it's down there, but you got plans on moving to um
Yeah,
Toronto.
yeah.
That's
You know,
but
like,
hey, there you go.
like
But
if
and it's cold. This is like, she like, look, I really ain't trying to really move to there, or
yeah,
or even like with the family and stuff. You got a hard head sister, or you got a dad that's super in your life, or the mom always in your life. Like, there's going to be an issue.
yeah. I don't ever want to live nowhere where I don't have the option of traveling safely on a motorcycle. Like, and what I mean is that, like, it's always danger. I'm not fixing to add unnecessary variables that I
Like
can't.
ice.
Yeah, come on. So, like, why do that? And that's a lot of things that we do, is that we have a long time and a long road in understanding what we don't understand. And then by the time we figure out what we don't understand, we've added so many things to our plate. I think the natural human thing is just to want more. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if you got enough, you want more of the thing that you already have in different ways. You want more comfort, you want more freedom, you want more flexibility, you want more ability to say what you want without accountability. You see what I'm saying?
I like
Because
that
we all
part.
want that, and that's realistic. And as a man, once you understand that about yourself, and you could accept, like, the type of healing that you've gone through, where you could see somebody else like, oh man, I know what they're dealing with. You feel differently about them. You don't get repulsed by people that are in a space where you don't even know what you're doing. You saying bless your heart, and then just saying that, now you go ask them, hey man, if you ever need somebody to talk to, you hand them, an ability to reach out, and then you get to know that person, and then genuinely take interest in what they're doing. Because if you want to see them be successful, it's gonna come from a good place. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It ain't, because if you don't, like, if you just say something passing fancy, different than a Facebook comment, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that's disinterested, not invested in your growth, saying something negative about you. If you got a certain experience, you got an obligation to teach. Like, I'm a great oral communications person that it comes down to conflict management and setting conditions for us to have dialogue, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I took a different responsibility and approach because I'm an author. You see what I'm saying? So everything's true in fiction and nonfiction. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy enough to believe it. You got to understand, Harry Potter made real money off of fiction. So when you cross those lines, we have to have a dialogue that captures the creativity of how the person is thinking. Because, see, there's something very primitive about men and women that makes us go into caveman mode and defensive woman mode when we have a topic where we had a personal experience with it that didn't work the way we wanted it to.
But I think more people. I think it boils down to more people having an honest conversation.
And the only way you can have an honest conversation is from what? A healed position.
A healed position and willing to admit you're wrong.
Which is why when we have conversations, I don't think that we need to. I think, yeah, we could caveat to say from a healed person and whatever that looks like, because everybody's got a different determination. But like that gets filtered out as you go on and the dialogue changes. You could tell if somebody's being spiteful and just really looking to cut people up and pretend that they are a healed person just so they can get their rocks off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You could tell when somebody's being disingenuous when you've healed. You see what I'm saying? And even when you recognize it, that's not an invitation for you to go at it. You let them run their course. You see what I'm saying? Because people that don't speak from a healed position don't have a lot of shots that they can give before they give away who they are.
Right. Right.
And that's the best thing that can happen. See, one of the greatest miseducations in America that you probably wouldn't know about, and it's true globally, but I just want to say this, is that everybody else has been miseducated about somebody else's demographic. So now you come in with preconceived notions and you prepare for a debate instead of a dialogue. You see what I'm saying? Because like everything you believe to be true about whoever that you wanted to have a discussion towards, that's what you came in to defend. You didn't come in to understand. You see what I'm saying? Like not you, but just generally the human condition.
Oh, so what you're saying is like if someone is like they're trying to defend their argument on religion, you know, it's not that they're coming in to really have the open conversation. They're more so coming in to push their point or defend their point, or to get the other person to believe as though they believe.
It's a dick measuring contest for intellectual superiority. Just so you can look smart and sound smart.
But it's ineffective because it didn't
forward. Because
it doesn't help.
Yeah, because the result of the conversation does what? If those type of conversations build skyscrapers, we'd have a bunch of them.
Most of them just turn into pissing contests.
That's my point. Like,
yeah, and then people get really defensive. I mean,
exactly.
Especially when it comes to like religion and politics and different topics like that. You know, those are some of the biggest ones, and you know, and that's why
you clear a room.
Yeah, that's how exactly the needle doesn't get pushed. Yeah.
Men, when they discuss politics, they discuss the use of politics.
Yeah,
and the leverage that comes with it. Like healed men do that. Yeah. Because you can put your differences to the side and understand that politics is a dirty game, but somebody's got to play in it. You know what I'm saying? In order to get things, to keep things balanced, to protect the things that we have. We do the dirty work to protect the things that we have. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you do the dirty work, that's when people can see how far you're willing to go. And that's when they know what their price tag is with you. You know what I'm saying? Like if I push this person too far and compromise their passion, they'll get rid of me.
Right.
That's why I say it's important for you to find something that you're good at. Do you not see professional teams do that every day? They go get a player that they know can put asses in the seats, sell merchandise and everything. Mm-hmm. But the minute that they don't get a return on investment because that person has an attitude problem, the person doesn't have goals that align with the organization, the individual goals become a competition instead of an alignment, right?
Right.
What do they do? They get rid of the person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you got to treat yourself like an organization. That's just the main thing. You know what I'm saying? When you decide that you want a certain level of success, it don't matter how big or small you want it to be. You got to treat yourself like an organization. Success is a way of living.
And hire the right woman.
It's not something that you. Yes. It's not something that you trip over
on the same program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got and that's it, because you got to have a woman who, I mean, if you speaking in these terms.
For those men that want women, they have to be choosing based on those filters. Because see, I don't want this to get conflated. Just because you're successful doesn't mean you have to have a woman. Okay.
No, that's what I said.
And just because you feel the need that a woman has a place in your life, that doesn't mean you have to give her automatic access to everything that she thinks she's supposed to have.
Mm-hmm. I so agree with that.
So like, because just like there are things that she's gonna be like, I'm not ready to share this with them. Women are gonna be the most selfish people first. Because see, look, men have to make assurances to even bring a woman to a conversation.
Yep.
No man is gonna say, yeah, come get with me with my short penis, little feet, and no money. You see what I'm saying?
That's what this tells. That's why I tell everybody, man. Height and looks goes out the window when a man is standing on his wallet. It's just the way it is when it comes. When it comes to women.
I'm not completely co-signing that, because see, what I'm saying is we're talking about healed men that don't have to bring up the metrics.
No, but healed men that are healed, right? All that if we're talking about telling a guy about a certain woman he wants.
But see, that's what I'm saying. That's when you dabble off into speculation. I'm only talking about myself.
You see what I'm talking about you, okay.
Because that's what I'm saying. I can't speak for you. I can't speak for Garfield. I can only speak about my journey, because we're all three unique men with.
You never have opinions. You never have opinions generally.
It's only when it's useful. Only when I can benefit from it. I don't care about having.
No, but that's not my question. My question is, you never have opinions generally on general things.
I used to. I stopped. I mean,
okay, so you don't then.
Yeah, I mean, like the opinions that I have had, I use them as my own personal metrics. You see what I'm saying?
So you don't have general opinions on things. You only have it based on you.
I have opinions based on me, because that's the only thing that I can control.
So
that's one thing I've lived in life.
So you don't generally speak on subjects. You speak on your own personal experience on that subject.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, that's all you can do. You know what I'm saying?
Not really. No.
Yeah.
If you watch football, you can have a prediction, but generally you want your team to win.
That's it. And nobody should be crucified for the opinion based on their personal experience.
Right. That's what I'm trying. I just want to make sure so we're on the same page.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like when I speak like that, I'm gonna always bring the conversation back to me.
Okay.
Because that's the thing I'm trying to communicate to the person that's watching it is focus on yourself. You see what I'm saying? Because people will go make decisions for their personal life based off some shit they saw somebody else go do. That's human nature. Always been that. When you don't know what you don't know, you try something that looks right. You know what I'm saying? Based on things that you can compare yourself to. You know.
You don't believe in stats, data, and statistics?
Oh yeah, I do, but only when I got it in front of me.
Would you have it? Would you? So if you do believe in data, facts, and statistics, are you able to have a conversation generally on that if it doesn't pertain to you?
Yeah, absolutely, because facts are facts and data is data.
Okay, so you can have a general conversation when it comes to data.
Oh yeah, when you said general opinion, I'm just mindful about where I say it. I always try to read the room and understand that what I say can be taken out of context.
Right. You're allowed to have your general opinion and base it on your life, but you're able to have a conversation, a dialogue. If things are statistically like that, it's not about you anymore. That's how statistically things are. So you're able to have a conversation with that, right?
Oh, absolutely. You could, I could be objective. You know what I'm saying? All day. I could say, hey, this is how I would assess this based on these numbers. You know what I'm saying? And give a general thing, but that's just my take.
But are you able to say, hey, this is how I feel because the statistic is that number? This is what that is based on, not you. That's what the statistics are saying. It had nothing to do with you.
I think man, look, I'm very unique, and I'm not tap dancing around the question.
No, I know. I just want you to answer it.
I know you're looking for. The answer you're looking for is what I'm trying to figure out. If I'm the person that can give it to you, maybe I'm not the person. You know what I'm saying? Because I see things different, and I'm not trying to be difficult by no means. Because I see things from a socioeconomic view. You know what I'm saying? So, when I look at data statistics, you have to put it in the pocket of the context in which you're trying to explain it. You see what I'm saying? So let's play a game. You know what I'm saying? Give me a scenario, data statistics that you would like me to have an opinion on, and I'll try to.
Okay, let's just generally speak. It's generally safe to say, based on data, stats, and statistics, that women base men based on their financial provision.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I was to ask you, and your opinion on what you think about that, would you be able to give it to me outside of your experience, or would you be able to give it to me based on what that data statistic said?
Sure.
I'm asking you. Suppose I say to you, do you believe that? Would you be able to say, not well, my experience, no, the women I come across aren't like that? Or would you be able to say, well, honestly, if that is how it is, I genuinely believe that's how women are. But the ones
Short
Yeah.
answer, statistically speaking, women are generally wired to wait on some man with a financial ability to take care of them.
Okay. So you're
Period. That's what the numbers say.
that's
which
exactly.
goes back to waiting on someone to save them.
Bingo. That's why I said
Right.
that
And
conversation.
it goes back to what I said. Generally speaking, height and looks goes out the window when a man is financially standing on his wallet.
He has that as an advantage, but it's not a guarantee.
But generally speaking, again,
Yep.
I'm not talking individually. I'm not talking personally. I'm just saying if you go by that, generally speaking, height and looks for a woman goes out the window when a man is standing on his wallet.
Oh, absolutely. I never disagreed with that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, like so if you go back and look at it, I've said I never disagreed. I said there's other layers to why that is not an absolute truth on its own. You see what I'm saying? Because there's other peripheral things that go with it. You know what I mean? Like a dude standing on his wallet and a dude standing on his wallet got options. No, general. No, like that's just the bottom line. That's just the metric. You know what I'm saying? Just like a woman with good looks has a leg up anywhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Let's be real about that.
Period.
She's getting into
You know
the
what I'm
club
saying?
free. She's getting into the club.
You're getting in the VIP.
So take away extreme beauty and extreme finances and then make everybody average. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those people have to choose between what makes sense for their emotional well-being. Hopefully they take into account their financial well-being, but if emotional well-being comes in first, hopefully they can balance that out, because there has to be a time where you ride the high of the emotional waves and all that stuff, and then things start to taper off, get a little normal. And then now you figure out, say, okay, we got past all the lovey-dovey stuff. What really holds us together, and have a real objective view about that. So it's not just the wallet, because sometimes the man's wallet has a greater potential to grow depending on the mate that he gets.
But
not the money he already has.
What do you mean mate that he gets? You think?
So you can get a woman that doesn't necessarily have to add to, but she simply adds to by not taking away. But she has to have other qualities that make her stable, you know what I'm saying, to the man that she has. For instance, like if you got a chick with no job, then she can't have no kids, she can't be doing drugs and have bad spending habits.
And
you see what I'm saying?
Pretty. And she better be good looking.
But,
she's surviving on something.
It doesn't matter. Let's just say like those looks and all that other stuff. If that's important to you, that's important to you, right? But like a man of a certain status that's got a certain dollar figure and a certain quality of life, he just needs somebody to come in and cooperate that don't take away from his opportunities to win.
But he's not picking anything that's just ordinary, though.
No. But see, here's the thing: the woman ain't choosing the man. The man is choosing the woman.
And that's why I believe when you say, that's why I said I believe that.
That's why the wallet is irrelevant to me.
But that's you. But even the average woman, I believe the average woman today in modern times don't want just an average guy.
Well, the average woman,
to me, even the fat ones have more of a tighter. They have more of a. I want a guy with ripped abs, and they're not even bringing it to the table.
And again, this is geography. See, you're in Montreal. You know what I'm saying?
California.
Whatever, same thing. That's the American version of Canada. You know what I'm saying? But like, so like the spectrum of being liberal is completely different. You know what I'm saying? The spectrum of what you could date and what you could bump into is completely different than what most people go and intermingle with. So like, understand something. In America, the majority of people live in rural America.
Right. But you don't.
So the majority of people, say all things true, majority of people are average.
Yep.
I like
3
to
to 6s.
That. Yeah.
Yep.
3s and 6s.
3s and 6s.
So you got a community of 3s and 6s.
Yep.
The men, let's say that even at the height of it, men are 6s. Let's say all things are equal. Men are 6s and women are 6s. The men are only 6s because of their wallets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And women are only 6s because of their potential to make you better or worse. They don't come in 10. You make them 10s. You make them 8s.
I think a woman is in their 6s because of the way they look.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody got different metrics.
Right.
See,
but generally speaking, it's.
But see, your focus. But here's again, my aspiration for success and yours are completely different. So you may see women completely different than I do. You see what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. I'm talking generally. That's what I'm saying. Out about you. Take you out of it. Are you capable of having this conversation we're speaking right now? It's not about your person. I'm not asking about your personal feelings. I'm saying generally, how do you think women view men? outside of what you.
I thought I already answered that. I was just
No,
unpacking
you
it.
are, but that's why I'm saying I'm speaking now generally. I'm not saying my version and your version is different. I'm
Yeah.
sticking to how the average woman would look at men. The average woman today, the average woman today wants a guy making six figures.
Do
And
you
my
consider
thought
yourself average?
huh?
Do you consider yourself average?
No, I make above six figures. I'm not really in there, right? I'm not the average.
No,
the average guy doesn't make six figures.
Take the money out of it. Take the money
Okay.
out of it. Do you consider yourself average?
No, because I'm educated. I really went down that path, right? Not everybody's
Okay.
got what I got.
What
in
makes
that
you
sense.
what makes you above average? I just want to. I'm trying to understand because
And when I say above average, not above average in what we're saying. What I'm saying is this: the average guy. I'm talking about financially, educational wise. I'm talking about how a person conducts himself, where they fit into society. All right. Somebody making 50K down here is not going to be at the same level as somebody making 100K. It's just not good. It's just not going to happen. It's just not the way it is, right? And that's not the way they're viewed, period. Now, the average woman that makes 50K is going to want a guy making 100K. But the average guy making 100K is going to go, you're not what steps out of my Mercedes. You're not at that level visually, right? But these women want a guy at 100K, but visually the guy's saying, you're not what walks out of a 100K car. You're not. Visually. I'm just saying visually. Not saying for me, this is not my personal opinion. Of course, visually, I know what I like. But if you ask any guy making 100K, he's not going to want to be with 2 tons of fun. It's not going to happen. The anecdotally, maybe. The average guy might touch it. Maybe, but it's not generally the way it is.
Well, generally is one thing. And honestly speaking, like, and I don't know how to say this without coming off with, but I'm just going to say it. That shit is beneath me. Like,
yeah, again, I'm not talking about personally.
No, and let me. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm trying to say it the nice way, and I can't. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a recycled conversation that's been had 1,000 times. Like the way you just went down the checklist of all the stuff that justifies the opinion that you have. It's all true. All of it makes sense to a certain demographic of people that care about those things. Right. It's useless. It's a start point. You know what I'm saying? So like we have to be more complex in terms of delivering tangible conversations that lead to solutions that people can make. So that's why I try not to dabble in that, because we need elevated guidance. You know what I'm saying? From experience. So like here, so this is why I say I could give you a short answer, which is I already did, and I unpacked it, right? But like, here's what I want to add. This is why I said we don't even need to talk to women at all. This is why we just need to focus on men, talk about their purpose. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When they ask questions and raise their hands, then we give that take of energy that you just gave. You see what I'm saying? Right. Because when you speak like that, it's going to be taken as a personal, bitter experience. It doesn't have any flexibility. You see what I'm saying? But it does. Understand what I'm talking about, how it's going to be perceived by somebody that's watching it. You know what I'm saying?
Your opinion, right?
I'm looking at it from
your opinion. Because you can't speak for what you can't speak for generally. You're not speaking from generally.
No, I try to look like when I form an opinion, I try to use it from the consumer end, the viewer end, and how it's going to be seen. You know what I'm saying? Not just what I have to say. Right. Because this is about understanding your audience. And if we're going to have a conversation that produces dialogue amongst other men, we have to take we got to make the playing field even. You see what I'm saying? Because like even in that discussion, when you start talking about money, you're drawing a class separation between certain men, and we already know that these things exist. Men don't have to be told that you don't make enough money to talk to this type of woman. You see what I'm saying? Now, the men that do think that way, we don't even need to talk to them.
But if we're talking about people we want to improve on, like you want to reach those masses.
But and that's what I'm saying. The people that we want to improve on, right? We don't need to talk to them directly unless they do what? Raise their hand. But we just need to share our experience between men of certain experience and journeys and stuff like that, and say where we went wrong, or what we would have done different, or how we saw our situation before we made the choices that we made. You know what I'm saying? They should be getting guidance out of desire to do good, win, positive things that align with their purpose. You know what I'm saying? And not just the pitfalls of if you choose this based off these metrics. You see what I'm saying? Because
Right.
like the metrics conversation about money is not new. We've already discussed that. So like now we need to take money out the conversation because that's already implied that money and resources are part of the deal, right? So like how do we have a conversation about men accruing more success and everything else without telling them shallow things like you don't make enough money to go date this type of woman? You see what I'm saying? I think that's when we decode that conversation, that question, that dialogue produces a conversation that's not as superficial as we used to seeing people respond to. Because like we've been having a rash of people saying the same things you saying. I make 6 figures. She got to do this and she got to do that. You know what I'm saying? Or I got to have this type of woman because of this type of money that I make, or things of that nature. And the truth is, everybody's always said these things, but we have to have a different type of approach to understanding what trading resources looks like now, because money hasn't fixed it. Status hasn't completely fixed it. Status is effective, but it has not been weaponized to make it a fertile ground to grow a solid relationship that's complementary to both people. That's all I'm saying.
But so let's just say, but the average person, the average kid, the average child wants to do better, wants to achieve better. We can agree on that, right?
I think generally speaking, human beings will improve.
Kids that are 18 to 35 in that bracket, they're not going in to say, I want an average kid. They're going in to say, I want that IG model, right?
No, a lot of them don't even. A lot of them don't even care. A lot of them don't even care about dating. No, a lot of them don't even have.
But a lot
of young men have no direction. They don't have a goal. They don't have a tangible plan to accomplish anything for themselves. So that's what I'm saying. Like us talking about women doesn't make sense. We need to be talking about men that want a certain status in life, because then because when you get the status, then that's when the men, that's when the women come. That's when the other stuff comes. See, when you focused on the women to young men, they think that the women come first and then the success comes after.
I would say definitely financial comes first when it comes to that.
The
women are just a byproduct of what you get.
Bingo. But see, right now we're focused so much on women right now.
No.
But that's only mainly, it may be today just because that's.
I get it.
Talking about what makes.
Hear what I'm saying. Hear what I'm saying. You got to look at these videos like this. If somebody takes a 5-minute sound clip and this is all they get out of it, right? Think about the Kevin Samuels effect.
Well, he's had.
You know what I'm saying?
I think he had a good effect on waking people up to reality.
And that's my point. So, like, we got to be careful about the 5 to 8 minutes that we spend on one topic about a specific thing, because the young man that might be watching this captures this 5 to 8 minutes, and they only hear what you said, and they take that without the context, without the conversation, and then they go lead a life that is nothing like what we said go do, and then they come back and say, "Well, he told me to do this." Like, did you watch the whole video? Which comes down to education, being able to deliver a message that people are ready to receive, and the person being ready to receive the information, because you got to have your hand raised if you really want help.
Because I'm hoping that